Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Today I've got three huge stories. Huge, like really big. Starting things off, we have specs on the recently leaked refreshed Ryzen CPUs, then we've got benchmarks on them, and finally we have a slew of next-gen Navi variants. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, I've got a couple updates on a story in my last video. If you didn't see it, I went over quite a few leaks claiming AMD would be releasing refreshed 3rd gen Ryzen CPUs. One story was done by WCCF Tech, where they reported that the updated chips would be called the Ryzen 3900 XT, 3800 XT, and 3600 XT. Well, we now have a leak originally from Chipel's forums, which at first I was a bit skeptical to discuss since it is just a forum, but actual benchmarks of the chips have since leaked that more or less confirms it. Plus, with video cards even posting it, things are looking up. Either way, let's go over it. As you can see, the poster claims the same thing WCCF Tech did, but he has clocks. For starters, we have the 3900 XT, which comes with a base clock of 4.1 GHz and a huge boost of 4.8. That's 300 MHz higher on the base clock and 200 MHz higher on boost. And with manual overclocking, we could finally get that 5 GHz. Fingers crossed. Next, we have the 3800 XT, which gets a base clock of 4.2 GHz and a boost of 4.7. And lastly is the 3600 XT, which comes with a 4.0 GHz base clock and a 4.7 GHz boost. Basically, while this isn't 4th gen, as long as they're merely a quick stopgap to it, they definitely aren't that bad. According to WCCF Tech, these are set to be announced on June 16th with the full release on July 7th. Now, if you love tech as much as I do, and you either want to pursue a career in it or simply learn the concepts that make it all work, learn by doing with today's sponsor, Brilliant, the new tool that makes learning math and science easy. See, they don't just teach you what to do, but how to do it. Brilliant helps you master the concepts by actually doing them in fun and creative ways so anyone can learn. And they've got everything from the basics of computer science to neural networks or even algorithm fundamentals. Plus there's daily challenges to keep you sharp and learning more. So what are you waiting for? You can sit around all day or learn a new skill by visiting brilliant.org/gamermelt, and the first 200 people who visit the link get 20% off the annual premium today. Okay, so next up for today, all three of the refreshed CPUs discussed have been spotted on CPU Monkey, which is a benchmarking database. So far, they've been seen in Cinebench R20 and R15. First up, when we look at single core performance on R20, you can see the Ryzen 3900 XT actually beats out Intel's new 10900K, with the 3800 XT and 3600 XT not far behind. These results also effectively confirm the clocks seen before. It even shows the 3900 XT got a boost of 4.6 GHz across all 12 cores. Next, we have the multi-core scores, with the 3900 XT scoring 7,479 and the others getting a decent amount better than their current gen parts. When it comes to Cinebench R15, the 3900 XT scored a bit lower than the 10900K in single core performance, but still got a decent amount better than the 3900X. Even the 3800 XT and 3600 XT beat out the 3900X. Moving on to multi-core, we can see the 3900 XT actually beats the 16-core Threadripper 2950X. Basically, they're doing great, but they're also getting about what you would expect given their boost in clocks. So these are definitely still 3rd gen, which is kind of a disappointment. Of course, these are just engineering samples, but we're getting pretty close to the supposed announcements, so I'm really not sure if they're going to be much better. Lastly for today, we have a huge leak that gives us some much needed details on next-gen Navi. The leak originally comes from a new site made by resident leaker RO Game, and what he's done is share numerous IDs that have actually been linked to a GPU variant, so this is a big deal. We know these exist and have a decent idea of what they mean, so let's just get right to them. Starting things off, we have 4 Navi 21 based variants. Remember that Navi 21 is the actual GPU and the variants are the versions of that made into cards, like how Nvidia's TU104 makes up the 2070 Super, 2080, and 2080 Super. Also, these are next-gen RDNA 2 based cards. First up, we have the Navi 21 XTX, which think of AMD's 50th anniversary version of their 5700 XT. As RO Game points out, that could mean they're having a tough time reaching Nvidia's level and have a bin card with slightly higher clocks to get there. Hopefully that's not the case and they're just trying to show off a bit. Next we have the Navi 21 XT, which would be the main variant like a 6900 XT type card. Then the Navi 21 XL, which would be like a 6900 non-XT card. And finally is XE, which would likely be something like a 6600 XT, 6700 XT. I'm really not sure, given we're kind of guessing on the naming scheme here. That's only if AMD actually moves things to the 6000 series. They also have a few Pro models, as well as some Apple variants like we've seen in the past. Finally, we have a bit of a letdown in my opinion. Remember this video that basically suggested we would get RDNA 2 across the entire product stack?
And we'll take that 2x stack over time across the entire top to bottom lineup for graphics.
Well, that likely won't happen as the next few models are apparently a Navi 10 refresh. There's a Navi 10 XT Plus, which would be replacing the 5700 XT, a Navi 10 XM Plus, which is the mobile replacement of the 5600M, and lastly is the Navi 10 XTE Plus, which would basically replace the 5600 XT. Whether these will still be the 5000 series or what is mostly speculation, but we have seen new ones registered. Basically, it looks like AMD isn't only refreshing their CPUs, but their GPUs. Hopefully it's based on a better architecture or something. Still, with 4 new variants of next gen, Big Navi could be a serious powerhouse. So while that does it for today, what did you think of the news? Impressed with the added performance AMD got out of 3rd gen, or are you just disappointed it's not 4th gen? Let me know down in the comments below. And make sure to check out brilliant.com/gamermeld. And as always, have a great day.